Hello and welcome back to IMAGI-NATION TV. Today we have the youngsters segment as we continue to explore the theme of kindness. Yesterday we had Karen Mundine on the show talking about In This Together, and I think that it in relation to the theme of NAIDOC Week, and I think it's so important that I just quickly take this time at the top to acknowledge what's happening across the world currently in the US, and just let you know that I stand in solidarity with everything that's happening right now. I think it's also important to acknowledge that it isn't just happening in the US, it happens in Australia, in Africa, and a lot of the countries around the world where there's marginalised people. I think it's so important that we use kindness to get through these times at the moment. And it's great that we're talking about kindness this week. Today we have our co-host from Bentley High School. Riley, how are you feeling?
Good. Yourself?
Very good, thank you. Hey, what's one thing that you want to get out of today's show?
I just want to hope that everyone that watches this show realizes how important showing kindness is to one another and how it can help people get through their day.
And what does kindness mean to you?
Kindness is very important to me. It just gives that little bit of boost just to everyone, makes them feel that little bit more confident, and it's just a really good thing for mental issues and everything. So
yeah, awesome. I think kindness is one of the most important things in life. Today we have Stacey here with us for the CEO for Good. So CEO for Good is a program where we get independent or private school students to help raise funds to help 1.37 billion kids across the world get access to education through this time of COVID. Stacey, how are you feeling today?
Good, thanks. Yeah, really happy to be on the show. Thank you very much for having me. Our school is new to the program, and so far it seems like a really, really good initiative. So I'm really excited to be involved.
Yeah, thank you for jumping on board and yeah, for supporting this. What made you want to support the CEO for Good?
I don't know. I think when I read it, when I read all of the descriptors and just the thought of, people that are privileged actually doing something with that privilege that could be helpful to people that aren't as privileged. To me, I'm really passionate about that. And I have run different programs throughout my career, looking at exposing kids to what the real world is like for other people, not just themselves, and understanding what they actually can do if they have a plethora of resources, if they're lucky, and what they can actually do with the excess that they might have that could benefit others.
Awesome. You just answered my next follow-up question, which is what learning outcomes do you think that students can get from this? But again, thank you so much for your support and for putting your school forward and for putting forward Molly, who is one of our CEO for Good. So thank you for being on the show today and for sharing that.
No worries.
We have our principal, Matt, from Bentley High School. How are you feeling, Matt?
I'm very well. How are you?
Very, very well. You ready for the 60-second challenge?
I'm as ready as I'll ever be.
All right, awesome. We're going to start the clock.
Riley and the kids are down another room, so I'm in a different room, but I'm ready to go.
All right, awesome. Well, they're watching. They're going to listen for your answer, so we're going to start the 60 seconds. All right, what's your idea of perfect happiness?
I think sitting down with your family and just taking it easy. I don't think there's anything better than that.
Which talent would you most like to have?
Which talent?
Which talent?
I'd like to be really in my work. What talent I'd really like to have is to be able to aspire kids to use their imagination to kick the goals that they want to and unlock that potential that everyone has.
On what occasion are you out of your comfort zone?
Sometimes when I'm in situations that I'm not used to, it could be dealing with something I haven't dealt with before, or in one of those sensitive areas that, I'm a bit blokey at times. So sometimes, I'm a little bit a bit out of my comfort zone when things are a little bit of that softer nature. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Who are your heroes in real life?
My dad was a wonderful person, so I was very lucky, and he taught me about aspiration, which I think is the best thing to ever have. So family, I've also, I enjoyed some authors that I've read, the likes of, say, Charles Dickens. I always thought Muhammad Ali was a tremendous athlete and spokesperson for people that transcended boxing.
Awesome. We have run out, but I want to ask one last question.
Yeah, go. Feel free.
What's your motto?
My motto is I try and use that humanistic motto of do unto others as I would like them to do unto me. How's that, all right?
Yeah, that sounds great. I don't think I've ever actually heard that one before, but that's really cool. Thank you for taking on the 60-second challenge.
No
Riley,
worries.
how do you think your principal went?
I think you did great there. That was really good answers to every question.
Good on you, Riley. I knew you'd back me.
What would you give him a score out of 10?
I reckon that's a solid 10 out of 10 for that one.
Oh, 10 out of 10. That's great.
It's free lunch for you tomorrow, Riley, and other kids there. I'll shout your lunch tomorrow for that answer.
There you go. You got yourself a free lunch out of that. We're going to quickly flick over to our 180 seconds of wizardry with KIRSTI Abbott.
Hi, my name's Dr. KIRSTI Abbott, and I'm your 180 seconds of wizardry today. I actually lead a program at the University of New England called UNE Discovery, but I'm also a trained entomologist, which is a fancy way of saying I study insects, things with 6 legs. This just happens to be an ant with 6 legs because my specialty is ants. And this is an enormous ant. You guys know, probably have seen a bull ant. This is a Myrmecia ant, and they're native to Australia. This is a queen, and this is her worker. She could be taking one of her sisters to a cemetery, or she could be defending the nest or something. All the workers, and in fact, all these in here are part of our collection of ants from School of Ants that I run. They're all workers, and they're all female. Males are only in the nest once, twice, maybe 3 times a year. They're there to outcross genes, they mate and they die. Some males don't even have mouth parts because they don't even need to feed. But they're redundant in a truly social system of ants. So women rule the world I work on ants that disrupt whole ecosystems. There could be tens, hundreds of thousands, millions of ants in a colony that cover whole landscapes, and they can decimate native systems, trees, animals, all that sort of stuff too. Some of the tools I use in my entomology lab are, I collect ants in these little vials. I use ninja fingers, but also ninja forceps to grab fast-running ladies, put them in my vial, to then put them under the microscope and see what they look like. It's really hard to identify ants. It comes down to sometimes just the hairs on their abdomen or petiole or thorax. I love staring down the microscope, looking at insects. They are beautiful. The sculpturing is really detailed. The colors, it's just the whole color of the rainbow. And you see things like mandibles and spines and all sorts of characters on their body that if they were like the size of elephants, there's no way we'd be here. Insects are so often overlooked. They're beneath our feet every single day. We walk on them all the time without thinking about it. But if you stop and look at the complexity of the environment that they're in, there is so much going on down there. And it reminds me of how much there is going on inside us. There's all this stuff that other people don't see. Go out and find a little patch on the ground and just watch. You'll see an ant within a couple of minutes for sure. And they're doing all sorts of cool stuff. And then you'll see another insect and then another one. And then you'll see flies and then you'll see water droplets and then you'll see other stuff. Such a complex world, which reflects our complex world inside. There's always so much to know. That's why I love the little things that run the world.
Absolutely love having our wizards on the show. They always bring a different perspective and light to IMAGI-NATION TV. We've got some comments coming in from the YouTube channel. Blake Lambert said, what an awesome principal. Darren Brady says, already love this principal. I wish he was mine in high school. So Matt, just know that you're getting lots of love from the YouTube comments. We are now going to jump into the Presidents of IMAGI-NATION. Quick little spin-off story. I was actually a mentee in the program, and we had this thing quite similar to it called the First President. And I was always way too ashamed to get up and to speak and to share my speech that I had made. So I want to give big props to everyone for jumping up today and putting your hands up and being our future young leaders. I'm really, really proud of you all. So we're going to jump straight into it. And Courtney, how are you feeling today?
Yeah, really good. How are you?
I'm feeling really, really good. Are you ready to have 3 minutes to share your knowledge and wisdom and be the president for 3 minutes?
Sure am.
Awesome. All right. Well, take it away.
No worries. So my name's Courtney. I'm from Oak Flats High School in Year 11 in New South Wales, Australia. And being the president, I thought I'd share a little bit of information. So being quite a creative person myself, imagination is obviously a very crucial part of my personality that I usually show through my songwriting, dancing, and even acting. If you can't tell, I'm a performer. In the world at the moment, there is a few scary events happening. We have a global pandemic that's still ongoing. And although restrictions have lifted at some places around the world, the virus is still around. Just because the numbers have diminished does not mean it's gone. We all still have to take precautions, and the scary thought of it happening to ourselves or someone close to us still lingers in our minds. Then overseas, we have massive riots and protests, which is something that hits very close to home for some of us. People are scared to leave their homes, but we shouldn't be afraid. On a more positive note, we are currently in Reconciliation Week. It's a time where we can all come together and bridge the gap, creating an equal future for all of us. To me, the world is a massive playing board. There's so many opportunities for us to experiment with. Some might not be as successful as others. You might land on a path that says go back 2 spaces, but you could land on a card that says pass go and collect $200. Metaphorically, of course. But to me, the world is my playing board, and I want to be the main character. Yes, people may influence me and inspire me, but I want to strive to stay on the path I want to and not let it go to waste. I know where I want to go, and to be honest, it's where I can make people happy on stage performing, even if it is just for 5 minutes. But I want to live in a world where people are equal. I want to be able to be myself and not be afraid of what people think. I got bullied throughout primary school for being weird and different because I like to put myself out there and perform when no one else would. But obviously some days were harder than others. I managed, and I'm actually really happy with where my life is going at the moment. I want the world to be accepting of everyone's differences, whether they have a nose on the back of their head or even a tail. Everyone should be free to be themselves without fear of judgment. I can imagine a better future for all of us if we just work together. Creating contrast between different races and cultures is not what humans were made to do. We're all human whether we like it or not. We may as well get along. Unless you are some kind of animal watching this behind your screen. Not judging. But if we all work together to iron out the kinks of judgment and discrimination, then our future that seems impossible suddenly becomes very possible for everyone and anyone around the world. We as young people have the role to influence everyone from generations passing and coming. Young people are growing up into a world that sees change instead of sticking with what our parents and our parents' parents grew up with. They were taught very different standards to what we are now, and honestly, we need to get higher standards to lead change. At the age of 16, I can inspire people to follow me and many others in our journey to change, reconciliation, and having a much more imaginative world. Kindness is also a very big aspect of that. We need to all strive and grow in our world together. Thank you for listening to my words, and I hope you follow me in our lead to change.
Thank you for that, Courtney. That was really good. I love the way how confident you were in speaking, and just some of the smaller points you made, like how everyone is different in their own ways. I took from that, and everyone should be appreciated. Like you said, you were might be partial, but you said you were bullied for your differences, for putting yourself out there. But I see that as such a very good thing, because you're putting yourself out there and just showing how confident you are, and you're just saying, yes, I can do this. So I'd just like to ask as well, what does kindness specifically mean to you?
So, well, to me, kindness is about putting others before yourself, like not worrying about what anyone thinks. Like if you're in a situation where you have the chance to be kind to someone, do a kind gesture, then take it. Don't be worried about what other people are going to think of you. You need to just be kind to others, and that way we're all going to get along much better, and there's not going to be as much discrimination.
That is awesome. Thank you so much for this.
No worries.
Speech. So next up we have Violet to do her President of IMAGI-NATION speech. Are you ready, Violet?
Yeah, I think so. So do I start?
Yes, start when you're ready.
Okay. Jingaree, my name is Violet from Beeley State High School. And firstly, I would like to acknowledge the First Nations people of Australia and pay my respect to the traditional owners of the land that I stand upon, today the Yugambeh tribe. I would also like to pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. I believe kindness is an act that can be displayed in many ways. A simple smile, helping someone, a compliment, or by using our manners. Kindness makes people feel positive and will enlighten their day. At school, we can help others to show kindness by working correctly in class. This simple act is helping the teacher and other students to learn effectively in the class. Other ways of showing kindness in the classroom is by sharing our school items, such as stationery, if you see someone that doesn't have something. This act of kindness will help a fellow student have a great day. In the community, kindness can also be shown by respecting others, such as bus drivers and workers at our local shops. This can also be achieved by using manners and answering politely when asked a question, or using manners when asking for assistance. It would be great if you could think of one way to show kindness to two people today, someone that you know and maybe someone that you don't. Thank you.
Violet, thank you so much for that speech. That was really, really great. How are you going to show kindness today? What's two things that you want to try and do today?
I'm going to give more compliments and smile more to people.
Yeah, awesome. And I think it's so important just at least to do one act of kindness a day. I think really plays its part in the world, and it's kind of you are kind to one person, they're kind to another, and then it kind of just keeps going on and on and on. It's great. Next up we have Tricia. Tricia, how are you feeling?
Good, thank you.
That's good. Are you ready? Are you excited? Are you nervous? How are you feeling?
Pretty nervous.
Pretty nervous. Well,
Yeah.
you are going to be the President of IMAGI-NATION for 3 whole minutes. Take it away. It's yours.
Hello, my name is Tricia. What do you know about kindness? I know that being kind will make people happy. We can show kindness at home, at school, and in your community. Showing kindness can be listening to what others have to say, being encouraging, standing alongside others when they're alone, and showing appreciation. When I am at home, I show kindness by helping around the house, being polite to those who take care of me, and I obey the rules that are given. Showing an act of kindness around the community also helps people feel safe. You can help around the community by offering to help people or ask someone how their day has been and start a friendly conversation. It is always nice when someone is polite to you. It makes your day feel brighter. No matter what nationality you are, you should always be kind to one another. Reconciliation Week is all about being kind to all races, mainly to Indigenous Australians and Torres Strait Islander peoples, and for those who were treated unequally. Treating each other equally is polite and it makes people very happy. Judging people for what they look like or who they are is unfair because they would like you to accept them for who they are. That's a way that you could show kindness, by accepting someone for who they are and what role they play in life. If you be polite to those who deserve it, you will be recognized throughout the community. When you be kind, people will recognize and they find it that you are one of those people who want the people of the world to be kind to one another, no matter what race. Throughout the speech, I have spoken about kindness, reconciliation, and equality. I hope that this message will encourage you to do a bit more participating in being kind, like teaching people to be kind to one another and be a politer generation as years come. Thank you.
Thanks heaps for that, Tricia. I could see that you were very passionate about the kindness and all the little aspects you pointed out there. How are you feeling after that speech? You said you were nervous at the start.
Yeah, so I feel like, so kindness is like, all right, it's like, okay. And for this that I have done, my principal has sent me a tuck shop voucher.
And that in itself is showing an act of kindness from the principal to you for your good work. So that was awesome. Thanks heaps for that. And we'll pass it back over to Charisse.
Thank you.
You got to love a tuck shop voucher. I used to love getting them at school. Make sure you grab something nice at lunchtime or recess or whatever's coming up. We have a lot of comments coming in from the YouTube chat line. We've got awesome background by Georgie. Someone, Katarina saying, what a President Courtney is. Katarina, again, I'll try to take your advice, Violet, and just lots of love and coming in, especially for the backdrop and for your speeches. It's absolutely great. So we are about to jump into failure time with Maddie. Maddie, how are you feeling? You ready to lead failure time today?
Honestly, I'm super excited about this. It's one of my favorite games to play and I can't wait for the kids to get involved.
Awesome. So we're going to quickly wrap to a video and then you'll take over.
Awesome. Welcome to Failure Time. I'm really excited to introduce this game to you. It's one of my favorites. It's called Alphabet Scene. So how we're going to do it is we are going to write down your names. I put a running order there. So we've got Tia, Phyllis, Jamala, Anastasia, Brianna, Kai, Riley, Courtney, Candace, Trisha, and Violet. Is that everyone here? Making sure I've got everyone involved. Yep. Didn't miss anyone? Didn't miss anyone? Okay, cool. So how this game works is we're going to set a scene. Right, everyone's going to stand up, and in that running order, we're going to have a crack at being involved in the scene. So what you have to do is you have to say a sentence starting with the next letter of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, and so on until we've gone through the entire alphabet. Yes, some letters are going to be harder than others. So how is it going to work is the scene is we are a couple of ants and someone's decided to have a picnic on our nest. How dare they? And one of us was squashed. So I'm going to start with the letter A, then it's going to go to Tia for B, Phyllis for C, Jamala D, and so on, so on, so on, until we're all the way through the alphabet. Is there any questions?
Yeah, good.
Right, let's get into it. So I'm just gonna go, someone squashed me.
Be close.
Dear, you're B.
Be close. Because I'm disturbing their lunch.
Next one, C.
Can you help me?
Next one, D.
Everybody help. Forget it. Love me.
Help! Help! I'm a little ant and I'm squashed.
I don't know.
Courtney, you're J.
Kidding, just kidding.
The jump didn't save you there, Courtney. Candace, K.
Oh, okay. Keep going. This is a great story about an ant.
Trisha, L.
Oh, she's in the other room.
Let me help you.
Violet, M.
Move.
No, someone help me. I broke my leg. Please come help me. Back to Jamala on O. Or Phyllis. Tia, O.
Tia.
Tia's O.
Oh my.
Say that.
Oh my gosh.
So Phyllis P.
Quick. Race. Run. Quick. ABC.
Your S.
Rise.
T for Kai.
Turn around.
U for Riley.
Under the rock.
Under the rock, nice. V. Courtney, your V.
Oh, that'll be Candace. The very, very good. Run quickly.
Say it again, Courtney. You can go with W or U.
Wait, who is it? What's up?
Courtney, you're up. You're up for W. You got this.
Wow, that's so rude.
Right, Trisha. X.
Xylophone hit.
I saved you there. Violet, you got Y.
You get over here.
And Therese, do you want to jump in at Z? Do you want to give us something for Z?
Zero understanding of what's happening on right now in this story.
Nicely done. Thank you everyone for participating. I appreciate it. So it turns out we had a lot of ants running under a rock and xylophones falling on us and lots of people getting stomped on. Please don't step on ants. They're crucial to our system and yeah, thank you so much for playing. I appreciate it. Well done, guys. Claps all around.
Oh.
That was an amazing example of failure time. I don't know where we were at in the alphabet a lot of the time. I kind of got a little bit lost, but it's all good. That was a really great game. Thanks, Maddie, for for sharing that with us and playing today on Failure Time. That was great. We are about to jump into our pre-recorded sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Being brave in the time of COVID. So we have Claudia Copeland. She's currently studying a Bachelor of Arts with a major in gender studies at Macquarie University. She is currently also interning with us at USyd as our Year 12 Genie intern. So we are lucky to have her at USyd working with our kids, especially this time of COVID. So here's a quick little diary entry from her.
Hi, my name is Claudia. I'm located in Sydney's inner west, and I'm here to talk about what I've been doing in self-isolating. I have been sewing. I've always loved sewing, but I've never really had the time to kind of develop those skills, so that's what I have been doing. And cooking. This has been a really, really big one. Cooking, baking. I've been trying to pick a new recipe every week and try and make it. And yeah, however, some things that I have been struggling with has been my mental health. Before everything kind of got locked down, I went and renewed my mental health care plan, which I'm very happy I did, because it's nice to know that I have some support. And I've had it for a while. I've had it since I was like a teenager. And I used to rely really heavily on seeing my friends face to face, and going out with them and things like that. If you do feel low and depressed, because these are very isolating times, Australia, if you live in Australia, we have so many available resources to us for mental health, and getting help, getting assistance has no shame whatsoever. I think personally it's a very, very brave thing to do, to kind of stand up for yourself and say, I want to get help. I think it's kind of comforting to know that, like I said before, even though it's so isolating, literally everybody in the world is going through the same thing, which is really crazy to think about. But yeah, be brave, take care, I believe in you. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so much, Claudia, for sharing that. I think it is so important right now, especially during these times of isolation, that we kind of do reach out and still try and find that support. It's okay to feel low, especially in these times, but just know that there's a lot of support systems out there for everyone. So thank you for sharing that message with everyone. Riley, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good after that. This was a really interesting episode on the series.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting episode. Also, I forgot to mention right at the top, did you know that it's our 50th episode?
50th.
50th.
I saw that pop up. That's a great achievement for the show. That's great.
It sure is. We've been running for 50 episodes straight. So, yeah, I think that's a great achievement. I think that's a great way to end the episode, unless you have any messages that you want to leave on, Riley.
I just want to say that everyone who participated today did a great job. And just everyone show kindness everywhere you go, and yeah, pretty much it.
And I back that 100%. So thank you everyone for being on the show today and for watching. We really appreciate your support, and we'll see you next episode.
Thank you.